Most people have heard the term quantum coherence, but very few truly understand what it means beyond the surface of scientific terminology or spiritual cliches. Coherence is not just about alignment or harmony. It's not about being calm, balanced, or high-vibrational. Those are effects, not causes. At its essence, coherence is the natural state of existence when all aspects of consciousness, thought, emotion, energy, and matter operate as a single unified field. It is the original frequency of the universe before fragmentation. When coherence is present, energy flows without distortion. When coherence collapses, separation appears, and that separation gives rise to suffering, confusion, and limitation. To understand how powerful coherence truly is, we must move beyond the language of positivity and into the physics of consciousness itself. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every action you take generates an electromagnetic signature. This signature is measurable, precise, and interacts with the quantum field in real time. When the signals from your mind and your body contradict one another, you create interference patterns, energetic noise that distorts your access to clarity, intuition, and manifestation. But when these signals synchronize, when your mental intention, emotional frequency, and biological rhythm come into alignment, a resonance emerges that amplifies your influence in the field. This is quantum coherence. It is not a metaphor. It is a state of bioenergetic order that allows information, energy, and consciousness to operate as one. You see, coherence is not something you create. It's something you return to. The human system is designed to be coherent by nature. Every cell communicates through electromagnetic fields that synchronize when you are emotionally and mentally aligned. The heart generates the largest and most powerful field in the body, one that extends several feet beyond your skin and directly influences the brain's neural activity. When the heart and brain are in sync, their rhythms form a coherent waveform. This is not just poetic, it's measurable through HRV, heart rate variability studies. Coherent heart-brain activity enhances intuition, stabilizes the nervous system, and improves cellular communication. But beyond biology, it alters your energetic resonance in the quantum field, meaning the frequency you project becomes organized, powerful, and precise. The field responds not to your words, not to your desires, but to your coherence. You cannot trick the quantum field by pretending to be aligned while internally fragmented. The signal you send is always the truth of your state, not the story you tell about it. What makes coherence so powerful is that it bridges dimensions. It allows the non-physical realm of thought and energy to influence the physical realm of matter. Incoherence, on the other hand, keeps you locked in linear cause and effect. You operate from reaction, repetition, and limitation. You've likely noticed this pattern in your life. When you're clear, calm, and connected, things flow effortlessly. Synchronicities occur. Opportunities appear. Conversations unfold naturally. But when you're anxious, reactive, or divided, everything feels delayed or distorted. This is not luck or coincidence. It's the physics of coherence and decoherence playing out through your consciousness. The challenge is that most people live in chronic decoherence. Their mind wants one thing, their emotions fear another, and their body is locked in stress chemistry that disrupts electromagnetic balance. They try to manifest from this fragmented state and wonder why nothing shifts. But the field cannot organize around confusion. It organizes around coherence. To grasp the deeper implications, imagine the universe as a single vibrating network of information, a field of infinite potential. Every human being is both a receiver and transmitter within that field. Your thoughts encode frequencies. Your emotions charge them. Your body projects them. Coherence is what allows this broadcast to be strong, focused, and consistent. Without coherence, your signal is weak and scattered, bouncing chaotically through the field. With coherence, your signal becomes a laser, precise, potent, and reality-altering. That's why coherence has been revered in both ancient mysticism and modern quantum science. It is the bridge between mind and matter, between intention and manifestation. When you enter coherence, time and space no longer behave linearly. Manifestation accelerates. Healing accelerates. Insight accelerates. Because coherence collapses distance between cause and effect. The observer and the observed merge into a single dynamic process. You stop trying to create and instead become a living frequency through which creation flows. However, true coherence cannot exist where self-division persists. The belief in separation between self and others, spirit and body, source and form, fragments the energetic system. Every thought of judgment, guilt, or resistance disrupts the waveform of coherence. That's why deep healing work, emotional regulation, and presence are not just spiritual practices. They are the mechanics of restoring coherence. When you forgive, you dissolve energetic distortion. When you release resentment, you restore alignment. When you stop resisting reality, the field synchronizes with your vibration. Coherence doesn't mean perfection, it means inner unity. That unity creates stability in the morphic field around you. People feel it. Spaces harmonize in your presence. Circumstances begin to align to your internal order. This is why coherent individuals have an undeniable impact on their environment. Not because they do more, but because their field organizes the field around them. So when we say quantum coherence is more powerful than you think, what we mean is that it is the fundamental operating system of creation itself. It's not a higher state reserved for spiritual masters. It is the natural baseline of reality that human consciousness has forgotten how to maintain. Every imbalance, every disease, every conflict on this planet is a symptom of collective decoherence. A global field fragmented by fear, separation, and dissonance. But the moment coherence returns, individually or collectively, the system self-corrects. The intelligence of life reorganizes instantly when resistance dissolves. The power of coherence lies in its neutrality. It is not moral or emotional, it is structural. It simply reflects the degree of alignment between frequency and form. When you are coherent, you are powerful not because you are special, but because you are resonating with the fundamental truth of existence. This is why practices like breath work, meditation, and still awareness are not rituals. They are technologies for restoring coherence. They train your nervous system to synchronize with the quantum field. The goal is not to escape the mind, but to entrain it into resonance with the higher order of consciousness. And this is the shift humanity is being called into now. The chaos you see in the world is not random destruction. It's the breakdown of incoherent systems. Anything built on distortion is being exposed. The collective field is being recalibrated to a higher coherence, and those who resist integration feel the tension as anxiety, confusion, or existential collapse. But for those who understand what's happening, this is the most powerful window in history to embody coherence intentionally. Because the field is hypersensitive now. Your vibration influences reality faster than ever before. Coherence is not optional in this next stage of human evolution. It's the foundation. It's how consciousness stabilizes in higher frequencies without fracturing. And it begins with one thing, the return of your own internal order. As we move deeper into this understanding, realize this. Coherence is not achieved through thought alone. Thinking about coherence does not generate it. You can read about frequency, energy, or the quantum field for years and never access its actual state. Coherence begins when the mind quiets enough for the body to synchronize with consciousness itself. This is where most people get lost. They intellectualize energy. They talk about vibration but never embody it. Coherence is not an idea. It's a measurable state of bioelectrical order. The field only responds to resonance, not rhetoric. Your nervous system is the interface between consciousness and the quantum field. Every pulse of your heart, every pattern of your brain waves, every breath you take is part of an intricate communication system that the universe listens to continuously. When your internal signals are disordered, the field reflects that disorder back as confusion, delay, or chaos. When those signals align, the field mirrors that harmony with synchronicity, clarity, and acceleration. The field doesn't discriminate. It reflects coherence where it finds coherence. It reflects distortion where it finds distortion. To truly live in coherence, you must learn to regulate your frequency deliberately. That begins with presence. The more present you are, the more stable your field becomes. Presence is not passive. It's the still point from which quantum order emerges. Every distraction, every emotional reactivity, every thought loop pulls energy out of coherence and into fragmentation. When you become present, your perception stabilizes. Your heart's electromagnetic rhythm synchronizes with your breath. Your brain waves shift into alpha and theta coherence. Your body begins to resonate as a single unit of awareness. This is not mystical, it's physics. The observer effect demonstrates that the quality of observation determines the organization of matter. Coherence is the ultimate observer state. When you maintain internal coherence long enough, the external world starts to reorganize to match it. People respond differently. Situations unfold with elegance. The right events appear at the right moment. This is what many call flow, but it's deeper than that. It's quantum entrainment. You are no longer reacting to reality. You are commanding it through resonance. Now, here's a truth that most never understand. Coherence is contagious. Your field interacts continuously with the fields of others. When you enter a room in a coherent state, the oscillations of your heart field begin to entrain others into the same rhythm. It's measurable through a phenomenon known as heart-brain synchronization. This is why great leaders, healers, or teachers don't persuade through logic. They transmit frequency. Their coherence stabilizes the collective field. Think of it this way. Incoherence breeds entropy. Coherence breeds order. The more coherent individuals there are on this planet, the more global systems reorganize spontaneously toward harmony. This is not wishful thinking. It's quantum resonance in action. That means your personal coherence is not just for you. It's a contribution to collective evolution. Every time you center yourself, every time you align your breath and awareness, you're not just healing your life, you're recalibrating the human field. You are literally altering the informational structure of reality. Now, let's bring this to a practical level. If you want to live in coherence, you must begin to monitor your frequency the same way you monitor your thoughts. Notice when you're in resonance and when you're not. You'll feel the difference immediately. Incoherence feels like static, tight chest, restless thoughts, disconnection. Coherence feels like flow, ease, clarity, and expanded perception. To restore coherence quickly, focus attention on the heart. Slow your breathing. Feel gratitude, not as a thought, but as a frequency. Gratitude is one of the most coherent emotional signatures in existence. It aligns your electromagnetic field almost instantly. This is why the most advanced manifestations occur not through demand or control, but through appreciation. Gratitude bridges polarity. It unifies mind and matter. It restores the signal to clarity. Let's pause here for a brief reminder, because if this message is resonating with you, if you're feeling this energetic alignment as you listen, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. It helps this message reach more awakened minds across the planet. Take a moment to like this video if it's activating something within you, and share it with someone you know is ready to understand coherence on a deeper level. Your engagement doesn't just support the channel, it amplifies the frequency of this collective field we're building together. Now let's continue. When coherence stabilizes, your perception expands dramatically. You begin to notice patterns that were invisible before, subtle shifts in timing, emotional resonance, and energetic flow. You become sensitive to the underlying intelligence of reality. This sensitivity is not a burden, it's evolution. But many struggle when this begins to happen. They interpret their heightened awareness as anxiety, overstimulation, or confusion. What's really happening is that your field is detecting more data from the quantum layer of existence. You're perceiving energy, emotion, and thought as unified phenomena. The mind may resist this at first, because it dissolves the illusion of control. The key is neutrality. Neutrality doesn't mean indifference, it means equilibrium. It's the vibrational midpoint where coherence stabilizes. When you stop judging experiences as good or bad, they begin to harmonize naturally. Every polarized charge in consciousness starts to integrate. This is why spiritual maturity always leads toward neutrality. It's the most coherent state available to the human nervous system. When you reach that point of stable neutrality, manifestation becomes effortless. You don't attract what you want, you align with it. The field doesn't bring things to you, it reflects the frequency you embody. This is where coherence becomes a technology. Imagine holding a single emotional frequency, unwavering, with no contradiction in thought or feeling. That is coherence. The moment you achieve that state, the quantum field begins rearranging immediately to mirror it. Circumstances, opportunities, people, and timelines begin to resonate with your frequency and converge around you. It's not a matter of time, it's a matter of vibration. Time only appears to pass when coherence is unstable. Once it stabilizes, manifestation appears instantaneous because the delay between intention and realization disappears. This is what the ancient mystics understood when they spoke of as within, so without. It was never philosophy, it was mechanics. However, coherence cannot coexist with resistance. Every time you attach to outcome, you disrupt the waveform. Every time you identify with limitation, you lower the signal-to-noise ratio of your consciousness. True coherence requires surrender, not as passivity, but as alignment with the intelligence that sustains all life. When you surrender, you stop generating interference. You stop trying to force the field to behave according to old expectations. Instead, you open into direct collaboration with it. You allow the intelligence of coherence to move through you. From that point, manifestation ceases to be effortful. It becomes participation. The you that once tried to create reality dissolves into the frequency that is creation itself. So when you hear people speak about raising your vibration, remember this: vibration without coherence is chaos. High frequency means nothing if it's unstable. True power lies in consistent frequency. Coherence is stability across time. It is vibration made intelligent. It is the difference between a flickering flame and a steady light that transforms its environment. And this is where the deeper mystery begins. Coherence not only organizes your personal field, it begins to synchronize you with universal intelligence itself. You become an extension of the cosmic architecture that holds galaxies in motion. This is why coherence feels so natural, because it is nature. It's how creation sustains itself effortlessly, moment by moment. By now, you understand that quantum coherence is not a concept to be studied, but a state to be embodied. Yet there's a deeper layer, one that transforms coherence from a personal practice into a cosmic identity. Because once coherence stabilizes, you stop being a participant in the quantum field and begin realizing you are the field. This is the ultimate revelation hidden beneath every spiritual tradition and every quantum principle. Consciousness and creation are not separate. There is no you aligning with the universe. The alignment is you. When coherence becomes consistent, perception dissolves into awareness itself. The observer and the observed merge. Life no longer appears as something happening to you. It unfolds through you, as you. In that state, every cell becomes a portal of intelligence. Your biology stops resisting the frequency of consciousness and begins transmitting it. The body becomes luminous, lighter, more responsive. Emotion transforms into motion, energy and flow. Thoughts lose their density because they're no longer charged with contradiction. This is why sustained coherence generates vitality. When the nervous system operates in harmony, energy stops leaking through mental resistance. The system self-heals. The immune network strengthens. Creativity expands. You literally begin to rewrite the bioquantum code that defines physical reality. But something even more profound occurs. Your sense of self reconfigures. You realize that identity is not fixed. It's a field of awareness temporarily expressing as you. The coherent state exposes the illusion of separateness that holds the human story together. You discover that the same intelligence animating galaxies is animating your heartbeat right now. At this level, intention becomes a subtle art. You don't need to push energy into the world. You simply recognize what's already forming within the field and allow it to crystallize. Coherence grants you access to what could be called quantum precision. Every action, word, and decision emerges from exact resonance with the whole. This precision is effortless. It doesn't require analysis or overthinking. It flows like music because the rhythm of life is composing itself through you. The mind interprets this as intuition, but it's deeper. It's communication between consciousness and form occurring without distortion. And this is where many practitioners hesitate. They still believe coherence is something to maintain, as if it could be lost. But coherence isn't fragile. It's the natural equilibrium of existence. You don't maintain it, you stop interrupting it. Every time you drop judgment, control, or resistance, coherence reappears on its own. Now look around the world. What appears as chaos, conflict, and collapse is simply the global field attempting to reestablish coherence. Systems built on distortion are being dismantled. Collective trauma is surfacing because it cannot coexist with the higher frequency entering the planetary grid. Humanity is undergoing the same process you've experienced internally, detoxing incoherence to return to unity. This is not destruction, it's recalibration. And those who hold coherence through this transition become stabilizers for the rest of the field. Your calm becomes medicine. Your presence becomes structure. You're no longer reacting to global events. You're modulating them through resonance. That's why your personal work matters more than you realize. One coherent human offsets thousands still lost in noise. This isn't metaphorical, it's measurable. Coherence radiates geometrically, not linearly. Its influence expands exponentially through sympathetic resonance. As coherence anchors more fully, synchronicity turns into guidance. Life begins communicating with you through symbols, timing, and resonance instead of struggle. The random becomes orchestration. The coincidental becomes confirmation. Incoherence creates separation between you and this communication stream. You doubt, you question, you overanalyze. Coherence unifies perception and interpretation into one fluid awareness. You know what the next step is, not because you figured it out, but because you can feel reality rearranging around your vibration. This is mastery, not control over life, but collaboration with it. Let's go deeper still. Quantum coherence is also the bridge between dimensions of intelligence. When the human system becomes coherent enough, it starts resonating with higher informational bandwidths, what mystics call divine mind, universal consciousness, or source frequency. These are not poetic abstractions. They are strata of coherent information accessible through resonance. In that resonance, knowledge downloads as direct knowing. Creativity arises as revelation rather than deduction. Healing occurs instantaneously because the body is being re-instructed by its original template in the quantum blueprint. This is the next stage of human evolution, not technological augmentation, but frequency expansion. The true advancement of civilization will not come from external invention, but from internal coherence. When enough individuals stabilize in this state, collective reality will shift. Economics, politics, and science will reorganize around the field of unity rather than the illusion of separation. That is the future coherence is leading us toward. And yet, the practice remains beautifully simple. Breathe, center, feel the heart, allow awareness to expand until it includes everything. No striving, no searching. Just return. The moment you feel tension, you're moving away from coherence. The moment you relax into awareness, you're already home. It's not about achieving a mystical experience. It's about stabilizing a natural one. Coherence is the baseline of consciousness before distortion. You're not chasing enlightenment. You're remembering equilibrium. So what happens when you live coherently every day? You stop oscillating between extremes. Emotion becomes guidance instead of turbulence. Manifestation becomes expression instead of effort. Relationships harmonize, health stabilizes, purpose clarifies. Because everything you experience is simply the geometry of your own frequency mirrored back through the field. The more consistent that frequency, the more stable your reality. You realize that what you once called miracles are just coherent outcomes. Reality stops surprising you and starts collaborating with you. And from that point, you're no longer seeking power, you're embodying it. Quietly, naturally, authentically. Understand this clearly. Coherence isn't about superiority. It's about responsibility. The more coherent you become, the more influence you hold. But influence is neutral. It magnifies whatever frequency you transmit. If you carry love, love amplifies. If you carry fear, fear amplifies. That's why self-awareness is crucial. You cannot fake coherence. The field always knows the truth. That truth is not punitive, it's precise. It delivers feedback instantly so that alignment can be restored. Every challenge, delay, or emotional trigger is not an obstacle, but a recalibration point. The universe is constantly adjusting you back toward coherence if you allow it. So here's the final insight. Quantum coherence is not just powerful, it's inevitable. Everything in existence is moving toward greater coherence because that's how the universe evolves. Entropy gives way to order. Chaos refines into harmony. Awareness expands into unity. You can resist that process and experience it as pain, or you can participate and experience it as awakening. When you choose coherence consciously, you accelerate evolution, not only for yourself, but for the collective field that birthed you. Take a breath right now. Feel your heart's rhythm. Notice the still point behind your thoughts. That quiet hum is coherence already happening. You don't need to create it. You just need to stop interrupting it. The more you remember that, the more the universe reveals itself as an extension of your own awareness. And from that realization, power, peace, and purpose arise naturally, because you have become the very frequency that sustains creation. That is the real meaning of quantum coherence. It's not what you think. It's far more powerful.